Okay, let's talk about sharing ideas. So this is getting to the next step, and there's a lot around sharing ideas about how you can get people to share ideas, and then how you can consume those ideas in the organization. And AI can help here quite a bit in every step of this process. So you want to address the hesitation for idea sharing that people have. Some don't know how to put the idea together. Some and some are just hesitant. So we're going to go through some of those concerns and give them some tools that'll help them not be so hesitant. You want to make sure that these are aligned to company values and principles, right? So want to make sure the idea that's being generated is something pertinent for the company and makes sense for us. We'll provide tools. We'll talk about avatars and anonymity, right? And how do you use anonymity to ensure that that people are not so afraid of responding. Use tools and virtual tutors where possible. Make it easier with summarizers, risk identifiers, next actions. It's all about structuring the idea. Once you have an idea, that's only part of the battle. The rest of it is, how do you communicate it? How do you structure it? How do you get all the factors around it? So you want to embrace the use of AI tools. And you'll observe that employees are starting to open up as they use these tools, because now they feel like they've got help. And again, you want to align to company principles and metrics. And little by little, this is going to continue to establish communication norms, right? Better ways to communicate. And especially when you talk about idea sharing, virtually every company has innovation as one of their pillars. They want to make sure that people are sharing ideas and they're improving their innovation. And this is a great way to be a catalyst for that. All right, here's the second one. If you would, scan the QR code. Let's talk about what's holding people back from sharing ideas. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Oh, here we go. Feel silly. That's good. Yep. Judgment. Yep. Being judged, for sure. Yeah. Uncertain. Belittlement. Yeah. We see a lot of rejection, concern about being wrong. Representation. That's an interesting one, right? It could be embarrassing, right? You could be wrong. Right? Yeah, that's good. The dilemma, that's interesting. Yep. Power. Wow, that's another one. Yeah, organizational complexity. That's a big one. Not knowing, I suspect that means not knowing who to talk to, where the idea is going to go, who's going to get shared with, or who's the decision maker. Great, thank you. These are awesome. Yes, exactly. And we hear many of the same things. What we've seen is 65% of people are uncomfortable sharing an idea in their own words, right? And a lot of it has to do with what you just highlighted, right? Not knowing exactly the things to say. 38% of people have trouble just naming the idea. Every idea ends up with a name, and it'd be nice to have a name, an actual name, and not just, hey, that was the thing that Vivek came up with in October, right? And so have something you can actually refer to. And 72% of people have trouble envisioning next steps and risks. And this is where a lot of the ideas actually start to fall down, where they say, well, I've got this idea, but now what do I do, right? What are the next steps, and how do I identify the risks? And traditionally, you'll have multiple meetings, you'll talk to a lot of people, and if you have the persistence to go through it. But all these things actually stop people from sharing ideas. Our results have shown with using some of these AI tools and alleviating some of those concerns, we can see a 28% improvement in innovation and idea sharing. Let's go through some examples. All right, first of all, let's talk about structuring an idea. First thing you want to do is just write it down. It should be in your own words. You can record a video, you can do it in text, you can do it in email. All those things are palatable because AI can consume all of those things. Most of the tools that we've used will just transcribe the video into text, and they operate on text. So, but video is fine, and virtually every collaboration platform or tool that you use today will transcribe your video. So get it down to text, and then just start there and give it a name. Coming up with a name is difficult. I struggle with this myself, and so there's tools now that you can use some AI assistants that will generate a name for you. In this case, we're asking about, there was a company that was asking about an innovation platform, and they wanted something like Kickstarter or Shark Tank. So we talked about it, and if you put that into the idea, you get these ideas that are generated. It says things like innovation amplifier and idea incubator, right? These are cool ideas. Or brainstorm booster, idea spark, which I thought was good, and my favorite, which is brainwave igniter. So, but now you've got some clever terms, clever names that you can start with. You can use one of them. You can use them to give you an idea on something else, and but it'll give you a start. This is something that seems simple, but it's a key step in the process that it can help with. And there's more. So next steps, we're going to talk about getting help with structure, with using anonymity, and using avatars. And a reminder, if you have questions, make sure you put them in the Q&A, and we'll capture them, and we'll talk about them toward the end here. So let's talk about using the AI tutor to actually come up with a guidance that'll give you a better idea. Now, AI tutor is pretty involved. It takes quite a bit of work to train and to give you some steps, and it's not just an AI tool you can just download and use. This is a process, right? So you need to go process step by step. And so there's going to be some configurations here. We actually have an implementation if you guys want to take a look, and we're happy to talk to you about it. But now using an AI-based tutor, it just doesn't have to be just for ideas, it could be for a lot of things. It'll help you with structuring the idea, step-by-step guide. The key value here is that it's going to help you align the idea with company values, communication styles, characteristics, and over time it's going to learn more about the company. And that's the beauty of AI. It learns and it continues to understand what the proper parameters are, what the structures are. It will help you with an idea so that, if you're building nuclear reactors, you don't come up with an idea to, make popcorn, right? So you want to have something that is aligned with what you want to do. And so building a tutor like this, or working through a process like this, will really help, especially alleviate the concern about how do I put this process in place. This is certainly much more involved, but this is very achievable with today's technology. And having a tutor like this will really help boost your idea sharing. And let's go with talking about anonymous ideas and sharing with avatars. What we want to do here is make sure we address the discomfort with speaking up. There's confidence issues, there's fear, right? We just talked about all these different terms, fear of rejection. How do we address all those? There's a couple of processes you can do that are not necessarily AI related, but you can make the idea anonymous or to be revealed at a later date. It takes away some of that fear that, hey, I don't want my name attached to this if it crashes and burns, if this idea is not very popular. So make it anonymous, but then using avatars, you can say your own words, just record your own video, your own text, or type your own text, and have somebody else present it. Now, this isn't about Taylor Swift and trying to make a deep fake of Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game. This is about actually just giving you an opportunity to present, make sure it's said in your words, make sure it uses the right words. But for people who have stage fright, you don't get up there and put your face out there. And a lot of the ideas die because of that. They never get shared because people just don't want to put themselves out there. We're a big fan of using video, and use the video. The AI tools will translate them. They'll transcribe them into text, and you can generate the avatar right off of that. Most avatar tools use text, but if you record your own video, that process is actually pretty simple. And we do think this will help open up people to sharing. So avatars have been shown to remove fear and other factors that are holding people back from sharing or participating. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about summarizing and summarizing text and ideas. A lot of presentations we do, a lot of documents we write in the workplace are lengthy. They need a lot of detail. At some point, you need to summarize them. So you need a 30-second pitch, you need to go through the process. So let's see what this might look like. When you can summarize, and there's a lot of tools that can help you, AI tools that can help you take a large document and consume it down to something that you can consume in minutes, and give you a summary, give you next steps. What we've been experimenting with, and you'll see some samples here, is taking that idea, bring it down to a 30-second summary. You need that elevator pitch, right? People talk about the elevator pitch. So get a summary of the idea. So this is now something you can say to somebody, hey, here's my idea. It's called, Brainwave Igniter, and this is what it's about, right? And there's your 30-second pitch, and people say, okay, got it. I understand the summary. I understand where you're heading here. But also, as you go through that, eventually they're going to say, well, if we want to put this in place, what are my next actions? And again, it's going to give you good suggestions, but this is not the end. It's not just saying, hey, AI told me these are the next steps, so let's go make those next steps. These are good suggestions, and we've seen really good quality with these, maybe an 80% reliability of these are probably the right actions, but you want to look at these actions and review them and maybe adjust them. And then look at topics for discussion. Every idea is going to have lengthy discussions because eventually you need to fund it. People need to really buy into it and need to understand. So it's going to give you some things that say, next time you guys meet about this, here's things you should talk about. And one that's always very problematic for people sharing ideas is risks. When you've got an idea, you think about it and you tend not to think about the negatives. You tend not to think about what holds us back. You think about why this would be so wonderful, why this would be so great. Now you've got some insight into, if you're trying to implement this, what are the risks you need to address. Every concept, every proposal has risks, has hurdles. So here's a way that you can at least get a starter set of risks that you can identify. So when you're presenting, someone's inevitably going to ask you, well, what are the hurdles you have to get through? Now you've got a starter set. Say, well, this is what we've identified so far, and we'll identify more as we go. A very powerful tool. You can use this for a lot of cases. We love it for the idea generation, descending down an idea into actions, discussions, and risks. And this use case, actually, we've done some testing with this and very useful. So if you want help with how do you structure this, reach out to us and we can certainly help you put all that together.